You're now tuning in to the Ambitious Views podcast, where we share unique perspectives on storytelling within film and television from the past, present, and future. We're here for a good time, not a long time. So let's get to it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Ambitious Views podcast. It has been a while, Blaze. How are you doing this evening?
I am doing well. It's the eve before Thanksgiving. And so I'm doing great, because I know I'm gonna eat tomorrow and I don't have to worry about cooking or cleaning up
Mm,
after cooking. So life is
mm.
good. Life is good.
That is good. I'm glad that it is good for you. I don't know why you're not cooking, because I heard you can really cook a mean tofu
Tofu.
turkey, So I don't know
I
why
ain't
you're
never
not.
touched, I've never touched tofu before. How I mess them up.
Anytime somebody brings up that I tell them that I don't eat meat, and we talk about different substitutions. I don't like to say substitutions because what I eat, but
Yeah.
I always mention to them, they say, like, what about tofu? I've had that. I said, well, the thing I always tell people is do not touch
Mhm.
tofu unless you are cooking it and you know how to season it very well, or you know that individual knows what they're doing.
Mm.
Because if you do not, that is not going to be a good experience for you.
Oh
And
no.
please, unless you're getting something that's extra firm, it is not going to be 100% guaranteed substitute on some chicken. All right, it's
I
just
believe
tofu is
that
what it is.
because our where we went to school, they used
Mm-hmm.
to have a little section where they would sometimes do
Mm-hmm.
tofu, and I tried it
Yeah.
one time and I was like, yeah, not trying that again.
Yeah. It probably was a soft version and jiggly and
Hmm. It
nah,
was.
like I mean now if you used to it, the texture ain't that bad. But if you just trying it off the rip and you didn't know what you were getting into, and cafeteria food, like it's only so much seasoning that you can add on there until people mix
Hmm.
up seasoning with spice. I ain't never
Yeah.
understood that. So but yeah, well that's good, Blaze. I'm glad you're doing good. It's been a while, y'all. We're glad to be back.
How you
Life
doing?
I'm glad you asked, because definitely what I was about to say. Life has definitely been life, and it's been
Mhm.
a whole bunch on my plate. Which,
Um,
if you haven't picked up or not, we actually recently just launched another podcast. It's called the Higher University Podcast, where we emphasize you within a realm and the world of higher education, whether you're a faculty, staff, or student. And so we got a couple episodes out there. We'll be rolling and getting things really going definitely in the spring semester time. So, but in the context of higher ed, Blaze, I've been working. It's been a very, very, very um semi-tough semester in the sense of just having a lot on my plate. A lot
yeah.
of areas under my space has been growing. So I've really just had to, really spread myself thin between that stuff, personal life stuff, film stuff. I'm currently, raising funds for this campaign for the film. And so yeah, it's just been a lot. So I'm really needing this break. That's definitely coming up. So, but it's always great to watch films, and that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about Wicked for Good, which we're gonna get into, but I will say that was one of the best moments in the theater I've had this year, and it was great to really get something like that, especially with all of the stuff that I've had on my plate, honestly, from the beginning of the year all the way till now. So yeah, so we're gonna get into it today, y'all. But of course, just in case you forgot, we do have to do our game, which is called What is This? All right, Blaze sometimes mistake the outcomes of this as if it's cheating or something like that, but I promise you it's not. I'm gonna say the rules and we're gonna be good to
Mhm.
go. Okay. So basically, what happens is that we name three person, places, or things that's associated with a film or a television show. Okay, Blaze?
Okay.
Okay, just making sure you get me. Okay. And so we're gonna get right on into it. Blaze.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna be naming off uh people. I'm gonna give you their real names.
Oh Lord. I don't even know these people's names.
Yes, so I believe if you don't get this one right, it's either because you have not seen this project or you forgot. Okay.
Okay.
But as random as these individuals are that I'm about to name, hopefully it may help you out or it will really confuse you. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. First one up is Ariana Grande, or in what I have learned on TikTok, Grundy. Either or.
Okay.
All right. Jennifer Lawrence. All
Okay.
right. All right. And Tyler Perry.
Don't look up.
Wow, look at you. Look at you. I give you a little clap there. See, I figured it would be pretty easy if you seen it, just because it's
Yeah.
so specific and stuff like
Hmm.
that. But dang, you didn't even blink on that one. Did you take a breath? My goodness. So
I mean,
hey,
when you said Ariana Grande, I was like, okay, that limits it because even though she's an actress, then she went into music. She ain't done a lot of acting,
this is
so
true. This is
that
true.
narrows things down. Then you threw Jennifer Lawrence in, and I was like, hold on, wait a minute. Then you said Leo, and I was like, oh, don't look up.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, okay, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Well, you got that pretty fast. You've been winning this season. You might win the whole thing because you usually cheat when
Where's
it
my
comes to your
trophy?
turn.
Oh, not
Bragging
so
rights,
much.
maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Oh my goodness. What's been on your watch list? I know it's been a while, and we're gonna probably have to start doing like watch list episodes, y'all,
Right.
because it's we be digging into it and sometimes we don't get to check it out. But I definitely love hearing the projects that Blaze have been checking out. So what you been watching, Blaze?
Okay, so I can't even remember the last month we recorded, but since then, I've watched quite a few things.
Yeah.
I try to watch, something new once a month at least.
Hmm.
Um, I'm trying to see what's like the oldest thing on this list that I have. I think probably I Know What You Did Last Summer is
Hmm.
probably the oldest thing, and it's the new one that came out this year. A lot of
Yeah.
people. It was very polarizing reviews. Like some people didn't like it,
Mm.
some people
Hmm.
liked it. I liked it. I thought it was cute. I thought it was like perfect for
It was cute.
today. It was cute. It was perfect for today. And I think that sometimes when you take these projects from, when we grew up, we want it to
Hmm.
be just like when we grow up. But it's like
Yeah.
it's not when we grew up. It's
Yeah.
2025. And so
Yeah.
they have to cater to the audience of today, the people of today. So I thought it was
Hmm.
fine just from what I know of like society today. I thought it was fine.
Yeah. 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 Okay. That kind of reminds me, like you saying, like good for today, because that's how I kind of felt about Hocus Pocus 2.
Hmm.
I felt like that was really good for, what they did with, well, it was way better than what I honestly expected. I didn't expect it to be just really good. Like I feel like it was just as good as the first one and it was a whole nother take on it. So yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
And then and I watched that by the way on Netflix. It's on
Mhm.
Netflix right now, but it came out in the
Okay.
movie theaters like in July. And then also on Netflix, I finally watched another one of their old Untold series. I watched the Shooting Guard episode. Um,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I watched that one when I think, on my way back home from San Francisco.
Hmm.
And I was on the plane just in shock. I was like, wait, what? What? So for those of you that are not familiar with it, watch it. It's about two basketball players whose lives went in very opposite directions based off of one very dumb action that involved
Mm,
guns by professional
mm,
athletes, by the way, professional
mm, mm,
athletes.
mm, mm.
So I definitely check it out.
Yeah.
And then I think I watched this one on my way to Greece.
I
Karate
believe
Kid
it.
Legends.
Okay, okay.
Karate Kids Legends. It was better than I thought. The only thing that could have made it better is if Jaden Smith would have did a little cameo because I feel like everybody in
Mm,
the Karate Kid universe, with the exception of like I think Hilary Swank was in one, but like everybody got to do their little 1, 2, and he didn't get to show
mm,
up. He wasn't even mentioned, and I was like, I kind of feel some type
mm.
of way about that. Kind of feel some type of way,
Dang.
but it was really good. It was really good.
Okay.
Probably one of my favorite Karate Kid movies.
Wow. That's I've been wondering for the longest and I forgot that it came out, which I know I still want to watch the actual series before I watched it. But yeah, it wasn't, not too many people talked about it. So I
That's
definitely
true.
was wondering how it was, but I feel like it was going up against some things during that time. Didn't I think it did it come out
It
not
came
too
out in
far?
like May. It came out in like May.
Okay.
And I want to say a lot of superhero movies came out around that time.
Yes.
Sinners had just came out. It wasn't a
Yeah.
good time for it. That's really it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Thunderbolts came out around that time. And then of course marketing was really heavy for Superman
Hmm.
and Fantastic Four. So yeah, that makes sense. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
And then finished up season 3 of Reasonable Doubt. If you haven't
Mhm.
watched the show at all, what are you waiting for? You need to watch it. But the third season was really, really good. So definitely
Okay. Okay.
tap into that. Um, I did go and see him with Marlon Wayans and Tyree Withers. I think that's his name. Tyrese
Mhm.
Withers.
Okay.
It was an experience. It wasn't bad. When I say it was
Okay.
an experience, I'm not saying that it was bad. It was just a
Yeah.
very interesting, it was very like in that Jordan Peele realm where you kind of
Gotcha.
think and stuff. Like everything's not just boom in your face, black and white. So it
Mhm.
was an interesting watch for sure.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And then I finally got to see The Substance that's on, they have it on HBO Max now. Demi Moore was
Yeah.
nominated, this earlier this year for
Yeah.
her
Yeah.
role in that. It was pretty good. It was very gory, very
Okay.
graphic.
Okay.
If I knew it was
Okay.
that gory and graphic, I probably wouldn't have watched it because I just can't do that.
Mm,
But it was a
mm.
good movie. I like the way that they did it. So if you are fine with gory and graphic movies, watch it. If not, read the synopsis and be done.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I put it on my list because I think I saw it was on HBO and
Hmm.
I plan on trying to check it out, but I think I mean I guess I just honestly I know I haven't been getting around it because it's like usually I just if it ain't something that Aj and I had already been watching on, it's been hard for me to just jump into things lately just because I'm
Same.
literally I just when I come in, if we got a little bit of if I get a little bit of me time or she likes to watch me play anyway, I get on Fortnite for a little bit and then we'll watch some and then it's a done deal. So okay. But yeah, I definitely want to check it out. I was interested in it because I think she may have won a Golden Globe for that, I believe. I don't know if she
I
won an
think she
Oscar for
may have
that.
missed it. I know she didn't win the
Um,
Oscar, but she probably won something.
Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay.
Um, on Netflix, I also watched this mini series called Death by Lightning, which is about an assassination of one of our presidents, James Garfield. Um, the only reason why I watched it was because I saw the trailer and I was like, oh, this looked good. And the show was pretty, the trailer was really, really good. It's like, oh, I'm locked in. And even like the little description is like, oh,
Yeah.
that sounds interesting. But the show
Hmm.
is really good. So if you like period pieces, specifically like
Hmm.
political period pieces, you would
Hmm.
probably enjoy it. It's probably 8 or 6 episodes. But I
Hmm.
thought it was a very interesting view of what happened with James Garfield's assassination because he's a president that nobody talks about, and they kind of touch on that in the movie or in the show, like how he kind of became like this forgotten president, even though he had all these good ideas and he probably had the potential to be, a really good president, but his candidacy got it was ended in like 2 months.
Shoot.
Right,
Dang.
right.
That's tough. That's tough right there. Mm.
And then I've also watched, so Peacock dropped a new limited series called All Her Fault. I saw everybody talking about it on I'm gonna call it Twitter. Because I saw everybody talk about it on Twitter, and I was like, okay, fine, I'll check this show out. Corgan. The first minute, the first minute is that's all you need is the first minute, and you're gonna be like, oh, I need to watch. What's going on?
First minute.
The first
Wow.
minute, probably the first 30 seconds.
Not Attack on Titan. Like,
Like it immediately locks you in because you're like, hold on, wait, what's happening? What's going on? And then every episode, you just get more information, and you're like, wait a minute, I need to know what's happening, what's going to happen next. For
wow.
those who aren't familiar with it, basically, it's based off this book, same name, All Her Fault. This woman, her son goes missing, and she don't know where he at. She don't know who
Hmm.
could have possibly taken him. And so
Hmm.
in 8 episodes, we get to figure out like who took her son and why they took her son, and then all the possible suspects of who took him.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like an investigative type thing, but I'm assuming it's like a mixture of different POVs probably as well, kind of thing. I
Yeah.
usually like those type of approaches, almost kind of like weapons, pretty
Yeah.
much, kind of. Okay, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's
And
what's
then
up. That's what's up.
of course I watched Wicked for Good, which we'll be talking about later.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Um, well, that's some good stuff, Blaze. All right. So my list, like I said, I'm not gonna go super deep into them. Um, but some of the things that I've seen, number one, Peacock had started this promotional deal where you did like a bundle with Apple, and I had already kind of wanted to get back into Apple because I still haven't watched Severance season two, and I heard it was really good. And so when I saw that deal, I was like, well, what do you know? And so
Sign
I
me
got
up.
right. And I really, even though they don't have a ton of original products, I mean, they have a good amount, but I remember Emily mentioned about Studio, which is a series on Apple with Seth Rogen as one of the main stars. And I want to say he's one of the writers and directors. He got a lot of creative connections to the project. It's
Mhm.
really good, and I really forgot it right up until you was talking, Blaze. And I highly recommend if you have some time. It's really short episodes, about 20 to 30 minutes. I think maybe one episode ranges up to 40, but just a really dope show where it really kind of dives into the I guess the culture of filmmaking from an industry standpoint on the studio side, and kind of introduces you to the actual politics and just kind of how things are
Oh.
truly made from the business perspective. Basically, the main character is a kind of like, I guess you could consider like maybe a junior exec that his mentor ends up getting fired, and basically he has an opportunity to get her position and he gets it. And you just kind of see him navigate that space and stuff like that. I will say that like the way it ended, I definitely would like at least maybe one more season, even though I'd be
Mhm.
curious about how they can expand upon it, which I feel like it's a lot they could do with it, but I'm pretty sure it depend on what that budget looks like, how big they can make it. But the whole supporting cast is really strong. So it's like they do a great job with making sure like almost every single person within the studio and around just really gets their shine. And then I like how they include different actors within it as well. So like Ice Cube is in it,
Oh,
Zac
cool.
Efron is in it. So it's really cool how they kind of do it, and this is a comedy. It's pretty dang crazy. So, so
Mhm.
definitely like a great mindless but intriguing watch. Like it's a good story to follow, but the story is so light and it's so crazy to where it's not like just as challenging, especially if you want something a little bit on the lighter end, close to the end of the year.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, highly recommend that on Apple. Watch one battle after another this past weekend. Very unique story when comes to honestly, I would say themes that's associated with what's going on now in America, and so I found it very interesting their approach to this. And so, if you like Leonardo DiCaprio and his range space with him just doing unique things where he's, passively quirky, along with Tiana Taylor has a strong role in it as well. Regina Hall is in it. The list kind of goes on and on and on. And so, pretty good watch. It is a little bit on the longer side. So, if you want
Mm.
somebody like me that can easily get sleepy, you might want to watch it early in the day. But yeah, it's pretty unique. We finally got back into our anime list and watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. It's a pretty good
Woof.
show.
That's a long
And
title.
yes, because apparently it's Full Metal Alchemist, but then there's Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and a lot of people just say watch the Brotherhood. And I think what I've picked up is that Full Metal Alchemist is almost like a prequel to
Hmm.
Brotherhood, I think. But nobody, it seems like nobody is like, oh, you missing out on something by not watching Brotherhood. So, um, but yeah, so it's a pretty good show. It's like a one and done thing. It's only one season, but pretty lengthy. I think it's like around 60 to 70 some episodes.
Sheesh.
Um, yeah, but it's kind of like once you get into it, it's one of those things. I kind of would say it kind of reminds me of the pacing to a certain degree, and the focus of it kind of gives almost kind of Death Note vibes to a certain degree, but not fully. Um, but I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's definitely its own type of thing, and it's a kind of a period piece too, with no purpose. In my personal opinion, they just stuck with the 1800s. They did. I mean, not in a mean way.
No purpose. The
Yeah,
way
I
you
mean,
said that with no purpose.
sorry if it
Dang.
sounded mean. No, like my bad. I mean, it's like it was in the 1800s, and it's never like they. I would say no purpose as it's a significance to the story. It's just it seems like the creators wanted to tell it from that time period. I think that's the better way for me to say it.
Okay.
But it's kind of unique because it almost kind of think of like, yeah, maybe in the 1800s, but there's definitely some advanced things that go on during that time. So, but yeah, watched Churchy, which is kept on stages series. Technically, I watched Churchy season two because I watched the original series on his app back when he dropped it, when he had Kept on Stage Studio app, and then wanted to support when he got it on BET Plus. So we watched that, and it's pretty good. Definitely interested to see if they want to renew it or not because man, after that, he's just been really doing his thing. He got a new series on Tubi, and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So he's really doing his thing. So it's really
He
dope
getting them
to
deals.
he is. So to be a part of Patreon and kind of seeing him, share different things, his journey and stuff like that is really dope to see where he's at now. So I had started the Allen Iverson doc series on Prime. I haven't finished. I got so far, I think, on the first episode, or maybe, man, no, maybe a little bit further than that. But I haven't finished yet. But for those of you who know me, especially back in my hometown, I was a really big Allen Iverson fan growing up. I
Mm.
have like two or three jerseys of his that's in still in good shape. I,
He was the
I was,
man back in the
oh
day.
yeah, most definitely. Like he was definitely a trendsetter when it came to just a new generation and like it's almost like the attitude era of basketball to a certain degree, if you will. And so yeah, so it was really dope to see, his journey so far. I've already watched a documentary of his, so some of the stuff I already kind of know of, but they're
Okay.
taking their time to be a little bit more organic because like his parents is more involved in it
Okay.
and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. Um, Let me see here. And I watched Solo. Well, we're currently watching Solo Leveling. So Solo Leveling won Anime of the Year this year or last year. And so we finally watched it because I saw that kind of like Demon Slayer, like it's not a ton of episodes per season and there's only two seasons. And so we got in that this past weekend. And now that I would say is truly a mix of like um it's like The Matrix and Death Note and what else I want to say? Definitely those two combined, so to speak. I know it sounds
Okay.
crazy,
That sounds
But like,
interesting.
yeah, like it's, if you've seen Death Note, the anime, it's definitely like that. But me personally, I like the main character better. Not because of how he is as a character compared to him and the choices, but more so just kind of what they do with the whole show and how they pace it is just a little bit more interesting. But the nature of the actual character does and what goes on around kind of reminds me of like this is almost kind of like the Matrix but in anime form. So but yeah, it's really good. um it's hard for me to explain anything outside of that because it'll kind of take away from the experience, but it's definitely, I feel like it's definitely one of a kind. And for it to, I think, already be renewed for a third season, I'm definitely interested to see how
Wow.
this season's going to end, because it's definitely how it's getting to now. Number one, I'm interested to see how far it's gonna go. But number two, it's definitely gonna be one of the top animes that people will talk about in the future. Like it's definitely up there. So
And what's the name of this one?
um it's called Solo Leveling. It's on Crunchyroll.
Okay.
Yeah, so pretty good stuff. Definitely would love to probably talk about it on the pod as well. So, and then of course, as Blaze mentioned earlier, we both saw Wicked for Good. I got to see it last night, and I did get something spoiled for me, Blaze. I
Oh
don't know if you
no.
already. Yeah, I don't
I
know. Did
mean,
you
I already
already?
knew.
You already knew?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a
Okay.
musical since 2003.
Yeah, like I didn't know anything about Wicked. I had heard of Wicked, but never looked into it, never came across anything. And especially where I'm from, we're not close to any big time play options at all. So,
See,
um,
I grew up watching Glee.
okay.
And like the original stars of Wicked, the play, they did a guest
Mm-hmm.
feature on Glee. They sung
Mm,
songs from Wicked on Glee. So that was kind of my
mm,
introduction.
dope, 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 dope. Well, with that being said, Blaze, you had watched the first one,
Mhm.
and well, let's back it up. Like we go through the first one with Alphaba and everything like that, and her transition into embracing her gifts and all this stuff like that. And with you knowing what was to come, how did you feel by the end of that movie, and what did you look forward to in this film, part two?
I just
Or
looked
what,
forward
or
to.
what would you, or sorry, or what were you curious of how they was going to handle the story? Yeah.
Yeah, I was just curious. So I've only heard of the musical. I've only heard most of the songs that I've heard have been from the first act. So all of these songs that were in this movie, it was pretty much my first
Mm-hmm.
time hearing them. Um,
Mm,
so I was just interested to see how the story that I have read about, was going to look online in front of me, like on the screen. And
yeah.
now that I've seen it, I want to see the play to see how they do the second act um
Mm,
on
mm-hmm.
on stage, because like there's some things that are the way that it's done in the movie, I'm like, I can't imagine that being on
On
stage,
stage.
but I
Yeah.
know they do it. I know
Yeah.
they do it, so I'm like, I'm interested to see how. um but also I was interested or excited to see like different, so spoiler alert, you guys, I was interested
Yeah.
to see like people's transformation. So how Bach became the Tin Man, how Fiyero became the Scarecrow. I was like, how is that actually going to work? Um
Yeah.
and then also I knew that at a point in the story, the Dorothy storyline was gonna come in. So I was like,
Mm,
how is that going to be done? Because like this
yeah.
movie is not about Dorothy. And so I
Mm-hmm.
love the way that they did it, like not showing her face, just kind of
Mm,
like mentioning her stuff here and there. I love that. I saw somebody's tweet the other day where they were like, we should have had more with Dorothy and this and that. And I'm like, but it's not her movie. If you wanted more with Dorothy, go
true.
watch The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
this is about Elphaba and Glinda. They are the focus. That's a
Yeah.
minor subplot. So I really liked how they included Dorothy, but didn't like throw it all in her face. Um,
Yeah.
This one was action packed to me. Like I feel like the pacing was like boom, 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 boom,
I
compared to the
felt that
first
too.
one. The first
Yeah.
one was very, I don't want to say the word, I don't want to say slow, but I can't think of a better word. So I'll just go with slow. Yeah, it was very informational, like, just like character development, learning who these people
Yeah.
are, learning the world that they are in. This
Hmm.
one was action, action, action. This
Yeah.
thing leads to this thing leads to this thing. We was moving. So like for me, the first one, even though it was good and I enjoyed it, it did feel long. This one did not feel
Mm.
long to me.
Hmm. Yeah, I felt the same way too. With the first one, it did kind of start like right dab in the middle, I want to say around when they were, I think they was in their dorm room or something like that. And it was
It
kind
was
of
after
like
the
them
dance for me.
after the dance. Was
Hmm.
that I think for me it was around when they confirmed they were finally gonna be friends. I think that's when it was.
Yeah.
So
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 that was
yeah,
right after the dance. So yeah.
okay, yeah, yeah, that's where it kind of dragged a little bit for. Well, I ain't gonna say drag. It was kind of like, man, I'm feeling like I'm getting through this or whatever, but not in a bad way. Like I'm not enjoying what I'm seeing, but it's like,
Right.
okay, this it's got a little, got a little length to it, So,
Yeah.
but again, as you mentioned, like when you build in a world, sometimes you have to risk the length to make sure that you're doing it, especially if you're trying to pay homage to the original, um, script and the story
Hmm.
of that. And so yeah,
And
like
add more to the original
yeah,
script as well.
yeah, most definitely. And so and job well done. And
Yeah.
so so I was told about the whole scarecrow thing, and unfortunately, I wish I didn't know that just because I did not think that that was going to connect to Dorothy and them at all. And
Hmm.
so I do think that it kind of ruined the big surprise for me as far as knowing that they was going to show how, but I do love the story, and I think that's why I enjoy this story almost even more than the first one. Like the music and the
Hmm.
performances was really great, especially the dancing in the first one was really great. Like it was just
Yeah,
really
I
it was
thought the
really
music in
good.
the first one was amazing compared to
Yeah.
this one, but the second one, like as far as the action and the story, I prefer.
Yes, yes, like it just really it's a good balance of the whole story between the two.
Hmm.
And I feel like this part two for good does exactly what it needs to do to have made this whole experience of Wicked worthwhile.
Hmm.
And it was a great wrap up, and it was great pacing. I think
Yeah.
speeding it up during his second part did well, and
Hmm.
but mainly I really loved how we did not only get to learn about just Alphaba and the Wicked Witch. Like that's all that, in my head I thought we was gonna learn about. And then we learn
Hmm.
about, okay, she was connected to people, stuff like that, to wow, like we getting to learn more about Oz to a certain degree. The fact that
Hmm.
Alphaba is his freaking daughter, like that whole situation, to learn about Tin Man, learn about the Lion, learn about Scarecrow, Dorothy comes. I'm thinking that was going to be at the end because I kind of picked up that she was going to be in it,
Hmm.
based off, especially like when they mentioned like Coma Domingo was going to be the voice of the Cowardly Lion. I figured that was gonna be in there, but I didn't know this. Like, no, this is simultaneously happening
Hmm.
at one point. I'm like, whoa, like that's really dope how they're able to do that. But then, like you said, it doesn't take away from the main point. And we're
Hmm.
not gonna do that. Like, no, this
Right.
is about Alphaba, and
Hmm.
Glinda to a certain degree, but no, this is about their dynamic and their friends and her sister and how all this stuff works,
Hmm.
and stuff. So yeah, like that's definitely what I enjoyed. And then even going to the action, I love the opening. Like, I'm like, oh. She about that life.
She
Okay.
about that life.
She about that
The
life. I
wizard
mean,
lies.
geez.
And
Yeah,
and
man.
then Madam Morrill talking about some
Yeah,
doing her
like
little thing to switch it up.
gone somewhere, man. But
Go
I
somewhere.
I love, and I feel like it reminds me of something else. It may be the Spawn movie, but I just really love the way they address her flying on that broom. Like I really love it from her costume, like using her costume to make her look even cooler when she's
Hmm.
flying around as well. Like I really love that.
Every time she turned around, she whipped her cape.
Man, you better whip it.
I was like, okay, like Glenda got the hair toss, and you got the cape whip.
Listen, man, like so I really enjoy those dynamics. How were you feeling about Glenda's, because I feel like we got true character like I feel like the character development mostly happened for Alphaba to a certain degree within the first act, I feel like, or the first Wicked movie to a certain degree. I feel like we knew what to expect of her and where she stood. But how did you feel about like what actors or this or more so characters that you feel like character development wise that you enjoyed the most about like this second half? Because I feel like we got a whole bunch in this.
We did get a whole bunch. So after watching the first one, I would say like Ariana as Glenda stood out to me the most. The
Okay.
second one, I feel like Cynthia as Elphaba stood out
Okay.
to me the most. And I don't know if it's
Okay.
because, she had a lot of focus on her with everything that was
Hmm.
going on, but I
Hmm.
just her going from, I just want to help people. Why don't people understand why I want to help them? Maybe if I just expose the truth and then realizing it don't matter what I do because people never really fool with me in the first place.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
Hmm.
watching her accept that, like, even though she's green, I feel like as a black person, that's very relatable, of
100%.
wanting to say something or do something, but knowing that people won't listen to you because of the color of your skin, your gender,
Yep.
anything like that. Like that was just
Hmm.
so relatable. And the song for good, I want to say, like right at the beginning, she said, they bring back the whole limited thing, and then she says,
Hmm.
"I'm limited." Like that right there, I was about to cry because I felt that. So for me, it
Yeah.
was Alpha, but her character development hit home the most.
Got you. Yeah, and I think I'm pretty sure we kind of touched on that the last time we talked about it a year ago, when we talked about like how relatable her character is like as this green person, but technically we can see as a black woman and we can probably see that some people of other descents when it comes to ethnicity can relate to her, but
Hmm.
definitely from the blackness standpoint, when we talk about systemic racism and all these different type of things that we try to get people to understand, sometimes we do kind of I feel like you can't easily be like, I wonder if, or just trying to bring it to some people's attention, and we have those Glendas in our lives that are trying to be allies, but don't
Hmm.
necessarily fully understand how to be, but then sometimes wish that why it's almost kind of like why we have to go as far as you have to go to get the point across. And I feel like that was the thing with Alpha, I mean not Alphabet, but the thing with Glenda, she didn't understand that Alphabet didn't have the same privilege as she did. Like they wanted
Hmm.
you in these spaces and they didn't want Alphabet there unless they could control her and she assimilated to their agenda, and then try to challenge the system, which
Right.
was Emerald City and the whole concept of Oz, and
Hmm.
and the other thing with the animals, man, I was like, man, these are Native Americans,
Hmm.
like they had been there all this time. The way of life like was pretty much theirs. Like it was all about them, and they're pushing them
And then
out of
this,
their land.
right, this
You know?
outsider came and said, "You know what? Let's get rid of the animals." Like, wait, what?
Yeah, yeah. Let's take their voices away from them.
Let's take their voice away, right?
You
And
know.
you was touching on something with Glenda and how she had to come to realization. I think the reason why even though I saw her character development, why it probably didn't resonate with me as well is because I think about it like this. What if Glenda wasn't friends with Elphaba, or if it was somebody else? Like, would she still have come to
Hmm.
that same realization, or would she still want to be used as the voice, the face of Oz
Yeah.
because it makes her feel magical, even though she isn't able to do magic, which is what she really wants to be able to do. I think about
Hmm.
that because I don't feel the same way with Elphaba just because she's experienced being kind of an
Hmm.
outsider, and then she was also there for like the animals as
Hmm.
outsiders.
Hmm.
It's and her sister and all of that. So that's probably why I just didn't connect with Glenda's storyline as much,
Hmm.
but I
Hmm.
mean I respect it.
Yeah, I think that's why I almost found her development very intriguing and so
Hmm.
realistic because I think it was very intentional with John Chu and not
Hmm.
even just John Chu because I mean, you have to stay as close to the script, the original script and text as possible. But I'm pretty, as a director, you have to be intentional about what you show, what you don't show, the angles, the way things are said, the way that you want the nonverbals of things,
Hmm.
and I feel like that's what Ariana did a great job with the
Yeah.
nonverbals of
Yeah.
delivering the persona of Glinda because it's like I think overall it was mainly one of those things like she wanted to be good to her friend,
Hmm.
but there were also times where I did feel like she was like, but is it that serious though? Do I really have
Hmm.
to? Am I? It's kind of one of those things. I'm only caring about these other things because originally I became your friend and learned life through your lens,
Hmm.
and put myself in that. And I feel like it took this second half for
Yep.
her to truly see her for her and really understand all that she's went through because she's not used to this heartache through life and this approach to things. And that's the thing that Alphaba is, felt all alone. Like she told her sister, she was like, father hated me. Like he didn't
Right.
even like me, And so it's not even just originally getting to the school and going through what she went through right then. It was the fact that she's always felt resented and like never had a hard time finding a sense of belonging until she found this group of friends, as awkward
Hmm.
and misfits as they are, mainly together, even though they thought they were cool.
Hmm.
Um, but like I said, I do love the resistance of just going all out, but delivering the nonverbals and giving
Yeah.
those aspects of her.
Ariana's facial acting was like amazing.
Yeah,
The way that she
yeah.
was able to capture different emotions, like she may be
Hmm.
saying one thing or her act or she may do one thing, but like her face, it her that acting was very, very good and drew me
Hmm.
in a
Hmm.
lot of times. You
Hmm.
mentioned staying as close to the script, the original script as possible. And, I saw some people who have seen the original play talk about how in the movie they John Chu they included the animal storyline a lot more in the second act than they
Hmm.
do on the actual stage. So I
Hmm.
thought that was
Hmm.
cool because I feel like
Yeah.
that's a pretty important storyline to
Hmm.
continue on. So I was happy that
Hmm.
he kind of made that bigger, and that also helped them to include. So there were two new songs that aren't in the original movie.
I heard
No
about
Place
that.
Like
Yeah.
Home and The Girl in the Bubble. Loved
Hmm.
No Place Like Home. I thought that was a great tie-in to The Wizard of Oz.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
also perfect for that moment in the
Hmm.
movie, in the story, because it kind of explained like the animals had a good point. Like, why to keep fighting? Let's just leave. And her
Yeah.
being like, but this is our home. We shouldn't have to
Hmm.
leave.
Hmm.
So I thought that was a
Hmm.
beautiful moment, even though she ended up leaving anyway. But she also didn't
Yeah.
have any other choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Most
she also
definitely.
made Oz better for everybody else and for the animals. So even though she couldn't stay, the animals could still stay, and they were on a trajectory of things getting better. So even though she
Yes.
couldn't stay, she still made the world better
Yes. Yes. Because
because it was home.
Yeah, because the animals were able to start having their voices back and everything, and that's a really good. I'm glad you brought that up because I was kind of curious too when you mentioned earlier about comparing it to a play. It's like, dang, how do they include like the animals and how is the aspect? Of course, you got the Lion King who does different and unique things, of course, because it's animals. But it's just like, man, like I do kind of wonder, how they do that as a play. But it's just like I do kind of feel like, man, how would I be able to transition my mindset to accept it for what it was? Because again, like they did so well and everybody embodied their characters so well. Like
Hmm.
even Jeff Goldblum, like getting up
Yes.
there and singing like he was, not even just being, the humorous, quirky guy, but
Hmm.
he
He
did a
was
great
perfect
job
for
as
the
well.
wizard.
Oh yeah.
He
Oh,
was perfect
most
for the
definitely.
wizard.
Most definitely. And so all right,
Because
so
the
we
wizard,
going,
and
oh,
the
go
reason
ahead.
why I say he's perfect, hold on. The reason why I
Hmm.
say he's perfect is because they didn't need somebody that felt evil. They needed somebody that
Yes.
felt very homey, warm. And
Yes.
and
Yes.
that's him perfectly because the wizard is not inherently evil. He just got lost in a place.
Hmm.
People called him wonderful. And he was
Hmm.
like, hey, y'all think I'm wonderful, so I'm gonna be wonderful. And so he had to keep doing things to continue the ruse. So
Yeah.
he's not like purposely trying to be a bad person. He's just trying to continue a story that they put on him.
Right. And we learned pretty much that he was almost kind of like he almost kind of turned into a puppet himself
Exactly.
because I mean him not doing what he needed to do then protect, the other lady, I forget her name, that there's also a witch. And so yeah, so it is that's a really really great point, that I don't know. It's just a very good point in that I feel like nobody was intentionally trying to be bad, but it shows that when like how powerful
Words
outcomes can
are.
be, well, how powerful words are, and then also what selfish acts can lead you when you're not trying to
Mm-hmm.
be concerned about how that will impact others. And I feel like that was
Mm-hmm.
almost a lesson in it all. It's just like when you get too caught up with what you want and not thinking about how that can impact others, this is what you can cause. They cause Alphaba to act out the way she did. Now, could
Mm-hmm.
she have resisted in certain ways? Like, yeah, but technically she did the best that she could, and it could have been a whole lot worse,
Mm-hmm.
but she didn't. I mean, even when it came to the flying monkeys, like they could have been way worse, but thankfully because of Alphabet showing them compassion, that
Mm-hmm.
that
And
led,
being
yeah,
remorseful for what because she
yeah,
did not try to do that. And they
hmm
listened to her and they heard her out and they was like, you know what?
hmm
We actually fool with you.
right, right. Because my whole time I'm like, oh, flying monkey. So that means they're gonna be with her sooner or later. But it was just like I kept on waiting. I kept on waiting for a spell to be cast, and it was never done. And it's just like you see, like no, and I think that was also like semi a small, like beautiful moment of just like you don't have to seek control of somebody to get them to be on your side. If you're being genuine as you
Mm-hmm.
are, then sooner or later people understand where you're coming from, especially if you're trying to come from a good place.
Yeah.
So that was I really like
And
that.
you gotta be reasonable. Cause back to the
Yes.
forest when she did the No Place Like Home and the Carolee line gonna pop up talking about something. You stole me and now I'm a coward. Excuse me, sir. You were in a cage. You were in a cage. I helped you.
Right. Right. That popped out of nowhere. I'm like, what the what? If you don't put your tail
If
down
you
and get it
don't
from
push
in
her,
between them legs,
and and
like,
then Bach talking about something, and she cut him.
oh man.
I was laughing. Whew.
Oh man. Now yeah, that was definitely wild. Even though it wasn't like throughout the whole story, I did also like the Wicked Witch of the East
Mm-hmm.
arc. It was very strong. I really love how she
Mm-hmm.
was able to really get her moment. And as soon as she said Wicked Witch of the East, I'm like, so you're the one that ends up getting caught under the house, and then
Yep,
boom,
yep.
it ends up happening. So,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, so that it was just really solid. They did a really great job. Now, Blaze, have you seen Crazy Rich Asians?
I have. You talking about the wedding?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. I told Audra, I said, okay, John Chu gonna keep it going with this. He gonna
Yeah.
love some
As soon
nice
as
looking
they,
weddings.
yes, as soon as they released pictures from the wedding in Wicked, that's what everybody was saying. Crazy rich Asians, crazy rich. I was like,
Yep.
yep, y'all right.
Yep. Yep. I was like, I mean, just the width of the aisle and the
Hmm.
surrounding around and all this stuff like that. I said, I guess weddings setups is his trademark. He'd be like, oh, you want a wedding here?
You
No
want a
problem. I
wedding, you
got
say?
you.
That's my specialty.
Yeah, but man, like, I mean, shout out to I mean, from set design to
Hmm.
costume, like those emerald outfits. What is her name? The real true evil witch. What was her name? Oh,
Madam Morple.
her emerald outfits were fire.
Hmm.
It was fire. Like the costume design was off the chain in this, but this doggone John Chu, man, he has to be put up there as one of the greatest directors of all time
Oh,
with this.
definitely.
You know, like from all the other stuff he's done, of course, like everybody knows Crazy Rich Asians is a legendary film within itself. It's one of my favorites, especially in the romance category. But everybody
My
just did a
introduction
really
to him
great
was Step
job.
Up.
Really, is that oh yeah, I forgot he
He
did
did
that.
Step Up too.
Okay, okay. And
And
I think
that's
he
the
did like
one
the
I,
Justin Bieber thing
yeah,
too,
he
I think.
did. He did too, Justin Bieber's, his Never Say Never tour and his Believe tour.
Okay, okay, gotcha. Yeah, he's definitely really solid, man. I love his vision on things. It seems like he does a really great job with encouraging everybody around him to really be the best they can be outside of course, a big budget, but especially on the acting side, because I definitely could tell here and there that there was some actual singing on set. Like they continued
Hmm.
that, I could tell that, and they sounded great. I mean, everybody just did really great. It's really a great film. I did see that some like an exec or just people that's a part of Universal said they don't want to lose out on potentially continuing the universe of the Wizard of Oz.
I'm against
Um,
that.
not necessarily, yeah. Not they. I think it was like they were saying not necessarily continuing Alphaba and Glinda's story. They feel like that's complete, but more so in the sense of there's other characters that they're not able to complete. That I guess some books continue that they want to see if they can continue, expanding on.
Well, they've never, so the original Wizard of Oz movie was based off the original book. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
it's super confusing. So you got the book, you
Mm-hmm.
got the first movie. Then
Mm-hmm.
you have the Wicked book, which is
Mm-hmm.
basically a fan fiction of the original
Mm.
book. And the purpose of that fan fiction was because the writer wanted to create something where he looked at villains differently so that people, because usually in like Disney movies, villains are very one-dimensional. And so he wanted to
Right.
take a popular story and show like different complexities of a villain. So
Mm-hmm.
you got that fan fiction, then you got the musical, and
Mm-hmm.
now we have the movie. Um, that's like this. It's a lot. It's a lot.
It is. It is. It's like I'm not against it because I love wonderful things.
Hmm.
And sci-fi and everything like that and fantasy. I just hope that if they are able to do it, that they are able to find stories that really have some weight to it. Because I do feel like,
I
I mean,
mean
honest,
the
I really couldn't think of anything else to continue unless you. I mean, I guess you could say you could continue Glinda, but I mean, unless we're going to see her with
mm,
powers and some coming up, I wouldn't want to see that.
I was gonna say that like, they only did the first original Wizard of Oz movie, and there's a
Hmm.
whole Oz series of the children books. So, I mean, they can
Hmm.
always do the second book and move forward from there. But if they
Hmm.
do that, then they're gonna have to answer the question, do we redo the first the first Wizard of Oz. And I
movie.
and that would be a
Mm,
huge I could see people being like, "No, that's a classic. You can't touch that." So if they went in that direction, it's going to be a lot of back and forth of if that's okay. And if they do it, it got to be great. 'Cause, that's a classic.
I would say I wouldn't be against it if they started it within what's already shown to us.
I agree.
So like, maybe it's like middle, close to the end of Wicked for Good, and then continuing on from there. But I wouldn't want I think I am kind of one of those people to where, yeah, no, just let's just leave Wizard of Oz alone. Ironically, even though it's old enough compared to all these other
Remakes, right.
remakes, to where it could be time. But I think that just shows the power of, well, not necessarily the power, but well, the power of great storytelling, but just how well
Hmm.
they done it. And this became honestly a timeless film. Like
Right.
I'm actually was thinking about probably watching it this weekend,
Same.
just after, seeing it because I really liked, The Wizard of Oz. They did a really great job,
I
man,
did too.
for it to be, um, a very dated film.
Hmm.
So yeah, but yeah, if they could kind of like how they did for Superman and for Fantastic Four. Like, don't give us an origin story, but just
Hmm.
if it has to connect to Dorothy, if the actor that played her in this one is still open to it, let's kind of continue from there
Hmm.
and then transition out of that. Depending on what the stories are, because I'm not familiar with extra stories. So, but yeah, yeah,
That would be cool.
yeah,
But this
yeah.
whole
So
Wicked world it's been a nice 2 years. I know
yeah,
that the actors are probably ready to like move on with their lives because
yeah,
they have been
yeah.
living and breathing this since they probably started filming this in like 22.
22, 23, probably, yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
then they did
they
it back
probably
to back too. So
So yeah, they're probably like, let me move on. Oh, what did you think of the ending with Elphaba being alive?
something made me feel like she wasn't gone.
Mm-hmm.
I some type of way I felt it. Um, I couldn't explain why, but it's just like I don't know. Like I knew they was trying to be, you know, cold and straight to the point and staying true to the story, but something in the back of my head was like, what if this wasn't the end of her? And what, because at first, now, one thing that tripped me out, it was funny that at the end of the first one, we saw somebody in a hood on a horse on a horse. And I automatically assumed that that was Alphaba, but that ended up being Glinda that was
Mm-hmm.
riding, and the monkeys were with her and stuff like that. And so at first, I was wondering, okay, did they set it up to where technically Glinda ended up, faking or doing whatever type of way and it was faked? But then it's like, okay, now she's gone, she's hidden, and then, we just see the smoke and everything. I felt like it was good. I will say for me, I don't know if I had to see much of her. Like, even if it would have just been them just insinuating, like, oh, she still lives. Like, say you see the scarecrow coming and getting her, and you just hear the voices, just something of that nature. I didn't have to see the full thing unless it was something going because, okay, you're showing them going where the animals were going, which you never did see where they was going. So it's just like, I feel like it would have been more intriguing. I feel like I would have been fine with them not showing as much of her being alive, but just a little bit letting her know like she lives as opposed to like she went through that tunnel, but it's just like, okay, are they just gonna be in the desert forever? Because if so, like that sounds depressing. So, you know,
Right. No,
yeah,
seriously, it
yeah,
does.
yeah, unless because I assumed that they was going to the real world. Well, not the real world, but Earth. I thought that's what they were kind of going. Um, but they almost came back, and I just feel like they were going to the real world. I don't think they would have came back or been able to come back. Um, so yeah, how did you feel about that, or did you already know?
I mean, I already knew.
Oh man,
I already
Yeah.
knew. But
Yeah.
I mean, I like that idea. I was like, you know what? Everybody got a happy ending in a way. Like
Yeah.
she, even though, like you said, they going into the desert, that's kind of depressing. Hopefully, it's not depressing because now she ain't got to deal with people hating her for just for something she can't control. You know,
Right.
she didn't make herself green. She didn't give
Hmm.
herself powers or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they explained this in the movie, but like the reason why she had powers was because she was from two different worlds, Oz and Earth.
Mm. Yeah, they mentioned some about that. They did briefly. I think they did mention something brief about that. And I was like, oh, okay, but it didn't stick. But I think I do remember them mention something along those lines. I will say the only thing I'll talk about after this episode.
Okay.
Um,
I forgot to say before we talked about her fake death was I loved her short moments of a villain origin story and no good deed when she was like, you know what? Forget it. No more good deeds. Y'all think I'm wicked? I'm finna show y'all what wicked is. And I was like, yes, you better. You better. Avada Kedavra on all of y'all.
oh my gosh.
We ride it done.
That's
Let's go.
funny. We ride it, Don. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Yeah.
Cause she was like,
No.
Fiero.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. It was good. It was good. I really enjoyed it. Definitely something that's rewatchable on a lighter day and stuff. So I'm happy for the cast. I'm pretty sure it's gonna get the nominations if it qualifies for this year. And yeah, on to the next one, whatever that will be and stuff.
Right.
So but other than that, that is it for us, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in again for another episode of the Vicious Views podcast. I promise we are back. It won't be a big gap as it has been, and we're gonna keep this thing rolling. The next thing up will be Stranger Things, so keep a lookout for our take on that. We're gonna be popping out for every time there's a drop happening, so we won't be doing all at the end. I think there'll be 3 drops. But other than that, y'all have a good rest of the day, morning, or night. Peace.
Peace.